Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Arne Slot must handle Mohamed Salah with care at Liverpool. One of the reasons sporting director Richard Hughes wanted to appoint Arne Slot as Liverpool's head coach in 2024 was his experience of dealing with change. Slot's key transfer windows at previous club Feyenoord were across the summers of 2022 at the end of his first season in charge and 2023. A reset was required, and the Dutch club recruited 10 players on permanent deals in that first year. As well as making some influential loan signings, Feyenoord famously lost 7-0 to FC Copenhagen of Denmark in their first preseason game, but if there were any doubts then, they had been emphatically dispelled by the end of that campaign, as the Rotterdam side were crowned champions for only the second time this century. That achievement invited interest in their players, and across summer 2023, another 5 first-team players left. Feyenoord and Slot responded aggressively, bringing in 9 new faces, not including loans. Hughes saw major shifts coming at Liverpool with the end of the Jurgen Klopp era, and he needed a coach who was comfortable with such transients. In his homeland as manager of Cambuur, AZ, and finally Feyenoord, Slot was mainly reacting to market forces influencing his own world. There has been some of that at Liverpool, too, considering the determination of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Luis Diaz to move on to Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, respectively this summer. But in Slot's relatively short time operating at clubs who are expected to challenge for trophies, he has never really had a controlling influence on the direction of a legendary player's career. And when is the best moment to ease an icon through the exit door? Whether the individual concerned likes it or not, all of which brings us to Mohamed Salah. Last season, Slot made it clear to Hughes that he wanted to keep Salah, whose goals and assists were crucial as he delivered a Premier League title in his first season in charge. The respect was mutual. Salah warmed to Slot straight away because of his ambition. It frustrated the Egyptian when Klopp tried to position himself as the underdog. Salah thought Liverpool were bigger than that, and sometimes felt as though such talk counted against them in key moments. Slot spoke about Liverpool like they should be contenders, all of the time. Salah did not worship at the altar of Klopp, but when he reacted to something the German said to him on the touchline at West Ham a few weeks before the latter left Liverpool in May 2024, and warned reporters post-match there will be fire if he explained what had happened. It was almost entirely because he had been named as a substitute that day, an unfamiliar role for Salah since his 2017 arrival from Roma. West Ham had equalized moments before. Salah's 79th minute introduction, and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yet Salah, who had challenged Klopp inside the changing room that season over some of his decisions, felt a burning sense of injustice. Why should he be on the receiving end of Klopp's gripes when it had been his decision to leave him on the bench in the first place? Though neither manager nor player emerged from a very public confrontation looking particularly measured, it reflected an uncomfortable reality about the nature of their relationship, while also showing how far Salah is prepared to go when he feels threatened, demeaned, or that his status appears diminished. 18 months on, Salah has been left out of the team for successive Champions League fixtures for the first time in his Liverpool career, only this time by Slot. Unlike at West Ham, where Liverpool eventually drew 2-2 that Saturday evening, effectively ending their title challenge with 3 games to go, they looked better without him against Eintracht Frankfurt on Wednesday during a 5-1 away win, which stopped the rot after 4 successive defeats across all competitions. Salah has now not scored in 6 successive Liverpool appearances over the past month or so, maintaining a shaky run that stretches back into last season, which ended with him scoring just 4 times, 2 of them penalties, in his final 14 club matches. Almost as soon as the final whistle was blown in Frankfurt, it was noticed by social media users that Salah seemed to have removed any trace of his association with Liverpool from his X-platform bio. Though it is unclear precisely when this change was made, his representative was approached for clarification. Many had already concluded that it illustrates how Salah feels about where he is at the moment. How Slot manages him from here will be fascinating. Both might be entering uncharted waters. One of the reasons why Salah has always leaned on staying at Liverpool throughout his various contract sagas has been because he's felt wanted by the manager, head coach, and the supporters. Though he has kicked up a fuss on occasion, it has only ever been from a position of strength. For Slot, meanwhile, there is the issue of dealing with a player whose ego, rightfully, given his historic achievements and status, will surely dwarf anyone else he has managed. Salah is 33 years old now, but does not seem to be the sort of footballer who could be easily convinced that playing less might lead to him offering more in the long run. Nevertheless, he should be far-sighted enough to understand that an Africa Cup of Nations is coming in December and January, and if he is serious about delivering more success to Anfield this season, Liverpool will have to find a way to operate without him over that period anyway. There is also the largely unspoken pressure of Salah's vast new contract signed in April, posing for the club's in-house media announcement on a throne erected on the Anfield pitch in front of the Kop. It wasn't exactly understated, but neither were the terms. Salah is being paid a basic salary of $400,000 a week, plus significant bonuses, the sort of money only a handful of footballers have ever earned. He would, not unreasonably, consider those wages to denote him as Liverpool's main man, certainly in attack, while Liverpool's famously cash-conscious owners at Fenway Sports Group may also wonder why a man they have seen fit to reward so handsomely is now in and out of the team. It all adds to the pressure on Slot, who must navigate the path between football coach, psychologist, and employee carefully. Until now, he has met every challenge head-on and overcome it. This, however, is a different sort of task. Relationships in football between a player and a manager, or head coach, tend to only extend as far as what one can do for the other. Regardless of what Salah thought of Slot last season, Jordan Henderson's exit from Liverpool was a reminder of this. The club captain, who thought he was returning to pre-season training in summer 2023 in the shape of his life, only to be told by Klopp that it was time to move on. Henderson panicked, signed for a club in Saudi Arabia, and is now, via a spell in the Netherlands, back in the Premier League with Brentford, where his form has been good enough to have him in contention for England's World Cup squad at age 35. It is imaginable that he and Salah will embrace when they see each other ahead of the Premier League fixture between the two clubs in West London on Saturday night. Xabi Alonso compares Florian Wirtz to Real Madrid ace after major boost for Liverpool star. Real Madrid manager Xabi Alonso has compared Turkish talent Arda Güler to Liverpool ace Florian Wirtz after he starred for Los Blancos in their Champions League win over Juventus this week. Güler, 20, started for Real Madrid at the Bernabeu and continued his good start to the season. England star Jude Bellingham scored the only goal of the game, with Alonso's side next in Champions League action at Anfield against Liverpool. Alonso and Wirtz, of course, worked alongside each other at Bayer Leverkusen before Liverpool bought the German playmaker for a fee that could reach $157 million, $116 million, including add-ons this summer. Arda Güler enjoys playing, Alonso said after Real Madrid's victory. It's the same as when I had Florian Wirtz. He loves playing. This week, Wirtz took a potentially huge step forward in his Liverpool career by assisting 2 goals in a 5-1 rout against Eintracht Frankfurt. The German has done well this season in patches, but is still getting himself up to speed with the English game. However, the 2 assists should do wonders for his confidence. That was certainly how Andy Robertson was feeling after seeing Wirtz impress in his homeland. The Scotland captain believes some of the verdicts being offered on Wirtz so far since the Germany playmaker's transfer move to Anfield have been unfair. I thought he was outstanding. Excellent, Robertson told reporters in Germany, including from the Liverpool Echo, after the Reds won 5-1 at the Deutsche Bank Park Stadium and the 22-year-old got his first couple of assists. I thought he grew and grew into the game, especially the second half. The players around him helped him a lot. Curtis Jones was outstanding, and I thought the 3 midfielders helped us gain the momentum and keep the ball. Flo has been really good since he came here. People focus on the number of goals and assists, but at times it's unfair as he's created a hell of a lot of chances. On Wednesday, Some of the chances he created ended up as an assist. Hopefully he can take a lot from this performance. I was a record signing. Florian Wirtz will be questioning. Liverpool transfer decision. Rio Ferdinand has claimed Florian Wirtz will be having second thoughts about his move to Liverpool after a quiet start to his Reds career. The German moved to Anfield in a 160-meter move from Bayer Leverkusen in the summer, snubbing interest from the likes of Bayern Munich and Man City in the process. But with Arne Slot's side not yet at their best, the 22-year-old has found himself under increasing scrutiny. Still adjusting to English football, the playmaker has not actually started in his preferred number 10 position in 5 of his last 6 appearances. He was benched for Premier League clashes with Everton, Chelsea, and Manchester United, while he was stationed on either flank for meetings with Crystal Palace and Eintracht Frankfurt. However, Wirtz did impress on his return to Germany with Liverpool as he ended his 10-game goal contribution drought. The playmaker claimed his first assist for the Reds on his debut against Crystal Palace in the Community Shield, but had failed to add to his tally prior to setting up 2 goals against the Bundesliga opposition on Wednesday night. Liverpool initially made Wirtz the most expensive signing in British transfer history, before smashing the record again when signing Alexander Isak on deadline day in an 125-meter deal. Ferdinand twice held such a record himself, having joined Leeds United from West Ham. United in an 18-meter deal in November 2000, before moving on to Manchester United for 29.9 in the summer of 2002. And speaking prior to Wirtz's performance against Frankfurt, the Red Devils legend insisted the German would have been wondering if he made the right decision in moving to Liverpool following his quiet start. "It's a massive decision. You're a 100-meter player," he said on Rio Ferdinand Presents podcast. "I was a record signing a couple of times in my career, and if at any point in those first 2 or 3 months, if a manager dropped me for a game of that importance and significance, there would have been huge doubts in my mind. Doubts would creep in. It would be impossible that you don't start thinking, have I made the right decision? I was with a player, I can't mention his name. He was a big signing for a team, and he said he started slow at one of the teams he signed for, and he was going, oh my God, have I made the right decision? There were question marks in his own head, and this guy comes across as a confident player. And there is no doubt in my mind right now that when Wirtz saw his name not on that team sheet, that he was going on his way home in the warm-up, in his bed that night. Is this the right decision? I'm not saying it's the wrong decision, but I'd have a big amount of money if I was a gambling man that there would have been a thought in his mind that said that and went along those lines. Thank you for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.